me. It eludes me.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Dead Seal Lich guide. As the people who know me know that this is one of my favorite builds ever, and unfortunately it's not the best on Season 2, but it's still pretty competitive because of its tankiness for an Acolyte. So on this build we have some new additions from this season, mainly the Grasp of the Blood Mage. This item allows us to get crit chance and at the same time provides another layer of damage reduction. And if we combine it to Seed of Yggdrasil and all the other damage reduction layers that this build has with Dead Seal, etc., it makes it really tanky. It's on the low DPS side, especially because you depend on Dead Seal a lot, but the playstyle is really fun, it's really fast, and again, it can pretty much face tank everything in the game except Uber Avaroth, right? So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys some gameplay during the at the end of the video, so you can see it face tanking Harbingers at 1000 corruption and stuff. And it's the only reason this build hasn't been archived, you know, because there is some value. Since this build doesn't have any mana issues compared to Stygian Coil Lich, you actually make full benefit of Seed of Yggdrasil. And again, remember that with the buffs to legendary potential and how you guarantee the slam, you know, getting the kind of gear that I'm showing on here, just 1 LP slams pretty much everywhere you can, it's actually not going to be that hard. So you're going to get a lot of power for very easily. Now, let's talk into the build. Again, like I said, very good tanky, very good mobility, very good leech. You know, it does damage on the move, you don't have to stop, you don't need to worry about mana, all that. But, you know, the AoE is kind of limited, it's kind of close range. And again, the single target can't compete with the other builds we have in the branch. That's why it's on the lower tiers. Again, like most leeches, Reaper form for all the buffs. Like I always said, be careful, don't get baited by these nodes. You really want the tankiness provided by this. And this provides a ton of damage that this build desperately needs. Like if you don't take these nodes, you kind of lack a lot of increased damage. And it's not worth investing 3 points here to then go into crit multi, losing defenses, losing mobility, when you can just grab these 4 points and you're actually gonna get a pretty significant damage increase from this. So yeah, really good. Again, you have the extra tips like always. Passive tree, very, you know, classic passive tree like always, you know, with all the armors, with all the defenses, etc, etc. You can't go wrong with this, you know. Again, like I always say, don't get baited by necrotic energy, right? You need increased damage. You have enough damage on your weapon. You're gonna be getting a lot of flat damage from spamming Rip Blood on this setup. Keep in mind, 2 Rip Bloods equals basically 8 damage per, right? So it's 16 damage per 2 Rip Bloods. So 2 Rip Bloods and it becomes obsolete. So I much rather invest into increased damage, into penetration, into tankiness. So again, yeah, I don't really like these nodes overall. They're okay early game, but I don't like them end game. Again, rotation, very simple. You know, you go Reaper form, you toggle your bunkers, right? And once which you do through this node here on here, you turn it into an aura, and this basically assists the AoE of the Dead Seal explosions to get a bit of extra clear for trash and apply ailments and all that. Of course, this is a Dead Seal Lich, so all of our tree is spec'd for damage. You know, we go for the full crit chance, we go for the full multiplication, etc. If you're struggling with sustain, you can also grab soul stability. And yeah, and this point is actually kind of packed, so it gives you more shred than it should. So it's very nice because that means we don't have to build into the necrotic shred blessing, which is nice. And Rip Blood, like always, generate damage, give us some AoE clear, you know, give us mana back, so we can sustain Seed of Yggdrasil. And yeah, you know, teleport, classic, you know, transplant, sorry. You know, we get the bone armor, we get the pull, and we get the execute, and we get the bunkers, and so we can apply it even on, so we can run away and things will still have it applied, and all that, and it's just good, you know. It's just overall good. And again, obviously for this build, Marina's Last Souls, because it gives you a damage multiplier per damned on you. Once you have this weapon, this node here on Dead Seal becomes a bit less important, but early on it's basically all your damage, so make sure you rush this, okay? And again, Bonkers, you know, just applying extra reploads while you're mapping, you know, it's kind of nice. It you convert it to necrotic because you're scaling necrotic damage, especially because your weapon, etc. And yeah, overall it's just some nice clear. It's some nice extra damage, you know. And the passives, we already talked about it. Gameplay, you know, transform, activate Bonkers and go to town, pretty much. And you want to make sure that you stack replots, you know, as much as possible before actually going in with Dead Seal, because you want to make sure you stack the buffs and you stack the flat damage, okay? Yeah, once you have Dead Seal, you're very tanky, especially if you use a potion and you proc Elixir of Death, which again is probably the most OP passive in the entire Lich, you know? Makes you really tanky, especially when combined with Grimoire and things like that, which we're using on the build. Again, like I mentioned, amulets, a bunch of amulets are useful, Nihilis, Omnis, etc, right? All the plus skills are good. Grasp of the Blood Mage, very good for getting crit chance. And again, you can use Grimoire, you can use Twisted as a stat stick, but Grimoire for this build has very good synergy, because you are actually doing everything this build wants, right? You're gonna use a potion, you're gonna proc your Elixir of Death, you're gonna proc your Grimoire, and you're gonna be basically completely immune to anything that is not elemental damage, right? And elemental damage, again, you're still tanky, so that's why Seed of Yggdrasil helps you, right? Red Rings, this patch, Red Rings, you're gonna see them in a lot of builds. The reason is that obviously you guarantee the slam now with the legendary changes. So again, getting something like this and this, like last patch, or even this, would be like a big grind, and this patch, that's gonna be pretty easy to get. Remember that with spending all your favor on prophecies, a red ring on average is 200k favor, so anyone can farm this, okay? Don't get gaslighted by other creators. Anyone can get this. Okay, for scaling, classic, you know, we get a bit of shred from what I mentioned on Dead Seal, and the classics, intelligence, cast speed, necrotic, nothing really special, honestly. And obviously we scale to the self-inflict damned through Marina's Soul, and so Dead Seal does a lot of damage, right? Again, remember that as a Lich, you always have over Lich when you are in Reaper form. So, you know, all the damage you do is gonna be sustaining you. That way you can play kind of like a brawler, you know, and be extremely tanky. It's nice, you know. Again, the gameplay is just, I love this build. Like always, remember you have your loot filter at the click of a button. And yeah, it's a classic build, you know. Again, if you go check it on the tier lists, it's not on its best state. It's kind of on the low side, but it's still playable. It made the cut. It's fun to play. So we present to you the build anyway. I hope you guys like it. Again, Acolyte is getting reworked next season. So if you're an Acolyte lover, maybe this is the season to try something else. But if you still want to play, you know, Stygian Coil or Dead Seal, they're available, they're playable. And hopefully next season, they're even better. Thanks for watching. I'm going to play some footage.
It eludes me. It eludes me. Impossible. Impossible. It eludes me. It eludes me. Impossible. Impossible. It eludes me. It eludes me.
Behold, the dawn of the Black Sun. My shadow will cover this world once more.
It eludes me.
Pathetic. My vengeance would be pain.
Impossible.
This hate, this despair, oblivion burns within me. This world urges ruin. Do you deny, do you think my defeat changes anything? This world is
A dead god for a dead world. Pathetic. Power! Power of my shadow! No!